Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. And today I'd like to talk about a market wrap on luxury goods. And this here is in relation to what do I see happening with luxury goods, secondary market for luxury goods over the next 5 to 10 years. What do I really see happening? And I gotta say, in all honesty, I think the world economy that we have now is really, I think this is how the world is going to be for the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be very tough. And, we're at a turning point. We're at a technological age now where things in the Western world are getting a bit nasty. I live in Australia and, companies, big, dependable companies, no longer recruit local staff. They try and offshore as many jobs as possible, offshoring to India, the Philippines, developing nations. And this is done. This is done now to save money. And people will say, oh, companies were different 30, 40 years ago. And they were different because they didn't have the technology available to screw people over like they can today. And that's what's changing. Okay, how does this relate to luxury goods? Well, I think myself, in the Western world, in the next 5 to 10 years, the full-time job with benefits is going to disappear a lot. You're going to see a lot more contract, casual type roles, and that means that you're going to see an underclass developing. Whereas in the 70s, 80s and 90s, the middle class was quite protected by full-time employment, and unfortunately this is changing. So what I'm really saying is that in an economic sense, people may not necessarily be getting better as a society. And what I think you're going to see is that when the market is very buoyant, and it's a very good market, the actual buy and sell margins shrink, okay? And what I mean by that is when things are easily liquidated, you find that the margins are a lot smaller than when things are very tough. When things are very tough, dealers and agents buy things much harder than they would in a good market. And they know they're going to be stuck with this item for a long time before they get their money back and their profit. So what this means is, I think in many quality type luxury goods, and we're talking things like Louis Vuitton hard case luggage, we're talking, nice quality things, they will keep pace with inflation, okay? So what I'm saying is, if you want to buy one new, the prices always rise, okay? They're not going to become cheaper. And the same can be said for things like Rolex, Patek. They're going to keep steady with inflation. On the secondary market, what you're going to find is that the prices that you would normally get for them are going to be a lot harder than in a good market. In a good market, you can sell things and buy things at a certain margin. In a bad market, they try and buy it very low and they try and sell very high. So it's not necessarily making stock cheaper out in the marketplace. And this is the annoying thing. The economy's in the shitter, and there really aren't the bargains around that one would expect. And this is because a lot of pieces have gone to dealers and collectors who know the value of these items, and they hold out for that price. And it's actually quite funny where you look at the price of luxury goods over the last 5 to 10 years, and even though the world economy has gotten a lot tougher since the global financial crisis, prices have gone up, okay? And it's quite an interesting, the supply and demand is quite interesting. The other factor which is really quite interesting in recent times is that manufacturers of luxury goods try and make things obsolete, or they bring out new models. Now, the one thing about luxury goods that was so amazing is that they were basically classic design icons that never date. They were timeless. And you could see in a Rolex Datejust from the 60s, it looks very similar to the 70s. It looks the same as the 80s, 90s. Okay, they may have gone from a plexiglass to a sapphire crystal, and they've made a few improvements, but it's basically the same size, and basically, you know, you can see the heritage. What's happened now is that they've gone along and said, okay, we're going to make a bigger size. They've released Datejust 2. So no longer 36mm size for the Datejust, it's now ballooned out. And this is quite an interesting development. They're making them so that you've got to buy the new model to have the trendy one. You can't just be a savvy shopper. And that's a bit sad. But there are things like Patek itself there, which is a timeless thing. They've even gotten bigger. Not as big as makers like Rolex and, you know, Omega have gotten and Breitling have gotten, but they have certainly adjusted. And Patek released a 39mm basic Calatrava. That's the 5227. So that's quite an amazing development there. And things like that, you know, this is what's happening. The world is getting tougher. It's getting harder. And I think long-term wise there, you know, the difference between, you know, buying and selling. Now, if you want to sell your, say, any type of luxury good, you go to a dealer, he's going to be a lot more savage than in a good economy. And that also means people, they say, well, okay, if that's the case, I'm not going to sell it. People aren't turning over their luxury goods as fast. The flippers aren't turning it over. They'll say, well, I'm not prepared to cop a big loss. I'm not prepared. I won't buy the next item. So the market slows down. And my own view myself is that over time, if you buy quality luxury goods, you buy quality. So what is it? Quality luxury goods are really good brand name things which were expensive new. They'll continue to keep pace with inflation. If you bought them secondary, they'll continue to hang on there. If you buy new, you've obviously got to wait until the prices. You've got to wait until the price corrects to the actual worth of it corrects with the price you've paid, and that takes time with inflation. But generally speaking, times are tough. I don't think the way the economies of the world is now, I don't think this is a, you know, huge recession or a disaster. This is just the new normal. It's pretty fucked. This is the new normal. Things are tough. It's hard. It's hard and it's nasty. And there's no instant, you know, I can't just snap my fingers and fix it. This is how it is. The funny thing is, if you're looking for luxury pieces, they aren't necessarily cheaper. And, you know, it's a very interesting type of situation we've got there. There's bargains out there, but you need knowledge and information to know what a good price is. And you need to understand condition and all these type of factors. Otherwise, you know, you will be done like a dinner in a microwave. I'm Archie Luxury reporting on the facts of life. Let me know what you fuckers think. See you later.